Hello, good morning. This is the Good Morning Education Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Rotimi Itayo, and I would like to say a big welcome to those of us connecting from across the world. And if you're connecting with us, please feel free to have your conversations on our chat box. Let us know where you're connecting from. Share with us your conversation. And if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask your questions. I would like to say good morning to KK. KK, good
Hi,
morning.
good morning, Mr. Rotimi. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back here this morning. Thank you.
Yes, good, good, good. It's been an interesting week, and we will be taking our conversations to a different level or different height. We're going to be having conversations around mentoring and progress, mentoring, mentorship, and progress. And I
Mm.
believe that that's an area that KK is excited about, energized about, equipped, and empowered to tackle to tackle and do justice to it.
Mm-hmm.
Would like to apologize for uh, not being able to, broadcast yesterday um, due to some issues that we could not totally control. It was sudden emergencies, but we are here and we are back, and I'm sure we are
Absolutely.
better. So
Yeah.
I'm sure, KK, you missed my trouble, right?
I kept checking. I said, what's going on? But yeah, it's good to be here back. It's good to be back today.
Yes, yes. All right. So we won't waste much time. We'll try to bring in Ugochi, and then Ugochi is in the building. Let's say good morning, Ugochi. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, Mrs. Ajayi.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Good to have you safe, Chichi. I was just saying to the entire world that we're going to be having a very nice and interesting, engaging topic today. And I'm sure that you as well will be fired up to share from your experience and also um, from practical life realities, right? We're talking about mentorship and progress, mentoring and progress. And I believe that they're like left
Yes,
legs and right leg. They go hand in hand, they go together. And if
yes,
we are able to plug them in the right perspective, with the right objectives, and of course, internalizing or applying the results or the impact of it is going to be a great one. So, without wasting much time, I would like to start with KK. And
Okay.
KK, let's hear from you. So, when we talk about mentoring,
Mhm.
what is it all about?
Hmm. Ugochi, are we still in the show? I'm wondering if it's my network.
Okay, I'm still here. I can hear you. But
Okay,
Mr.
all right.
Rotimi's
So let
line
me
was breaking up.
breaking up. Okay, so I wasn't, I'm not sure. So let me find out. I think I get what Mr.
Okay.
Rotimi is saying. Mr. Rotimi was asking what is mentoring, in my own opinion, and I guess that in a nutshell is what he wants to know. Okay, so good morning, everyone, once again. My name is Miss KK. Most people call me Miss KK, but well, my real name is Okeifu Ajayi. So what is mentoring? Mentoring is a relationship in a nutshell. It's a relationship typically between two people. Sometimes it's more. But when you look at it, so I, for example, as a mentor, I have several mentees. I can decide to have a group mentoring session, but I must have a relationship, one-on-one relationship with each of my mentees. Because that is the only way that I can guide them appropriately. So a mentoring relationship must be experiential in nature. So I'm not coming and sprouting theories to my mentees. No, if I do that, then I'm totally it's not it's not the way it should be, because as a mentor I should have gone through these experiences myself. Based on the fact that I have been through these experiences, then I can is that experience that I bring to the table when I'm talking with my experience. So, of course, I can bring knowledge and theory into it, but I need to be able to connect my mentee into that whole experience that the way I have been on my own journey. So that is what a mentoring relationship should look like. And it's full of a lot of questions. So for me, right, I don't believe I should lead you. I should give any of my mentees the answers. So I guide them into the answers by asking them questions, helping them look a little deeper into themselves, using my own experiences to give them examples and say, oh, what would you do in this situation? Because at the end of the day, in a mentoring relationship, the mentee needs to grow. If the mentee doesn't grow via the experiences that are being shared, advice, questions being asked, then that whole relationship is not achieving its purpose. And so before I hand over to Mr. Rotimi, something people don't realize is your mentor may not be able to give you one mentor, I beg your pardon, may be unable to give you all the experiences, all the answers that you require. So you may need to have several mentors across several different strata of your professional and maybe even personal life. Yeah, so people might look at me and say, oh, okay, Keke loves administration and loves teaching, so maybe she can be my mentor in administration. You might try to find another teacher who has been a teacher for years and decide, oh, you know what, let this be my mentor as a teacher. For relationship advice, I mean, what I found is that for a lot of my mentees, we become friends, right? So they kind of ask me questions, even on a personal note, because I tell people there's no difference between personal and professional life. The reality is it's your life. You're just going to have to balance how much time you spend in each of these areas. But yeah, so that for me is what mentoring is. It's a relationship. It's a give. There's a lot of giving, but the mentee has to be ready to do a lot of work, because I'm not going to carry the spoon and be putting it in your mouth, put it in your mouth. So that for me is my understanding of what mentoring is. So let me hand over to Ugochi. Let her give us a wealth of experience in terms of what mentoring is to her. Yes,
Oh
now
my goodness.
you have some bad mentors that I'm like, I need to connect with Ugochi's mentors. Hey, when I see you have to be him, I'm like, what? Ugochi?
Okay, this is so funny. But Miss Singh, you actually touched on very, very important thing, and the fact that not one mentor can give us everything. So we really need to understand where we are in life and what we need. Then what we need
Mm-hmm.
now determines who we are looking to. And I think again that
Absolutely.
mentees need to learn that mentors are not their saviors. Mentors are there to help them, but they have a responsibility to make use of what the mentor is doing. I have a mentor that will say, I'm not here to baby you. I will sometimes leave you and it seems like you're falling, like you're all by yourself, but I'm just watching to see how you're going to manage it and come out of
Yes,
you know.
exactly.
Yes. So
Exactly.
a mentorship experience is a leadership and personal development experience. The mentor can actually be older or younger than you are. What is important is that maybe they have a particular expertise that you want to pick out from. I have a group I started, I think in May. It's called Grow with the Safety Chick, where I have some mentees there. I just figured that, all this while I've been getting requests for mentorship, and some I noticed that over the years, a lot of people that asked me to mentor them, they just wanted me to mentor them because it seemed like I was doing well, because of the name. And that's another thing I tell young people, that don't look for mentors for clouds just because you want to drop name. Oh, Feladro Toye is my mentor. If you drop name, how does that help you? Like, if you have not, if there's no personal relationship, if there's nothing practical you have learned in the process, how does that help you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does that help you? So
Hello?
mentorship is not about dropping names.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll say, don't remove me. Oh, I'm learning something from here. Yes. So yes, there was another important thing you mentioned, because we could have mentors across the different areas of our lives. So maybe relationship, another is great at finances, but it's just basically you knowing what you want and then structuring your life around it. But you, as a mentee, you must be
Yeah.
willing to do the work, because if you do the work, you will not be able to when you look back at your life from the time you met this person till date, you would be able to see visible progress. You will see how you have made changes, even in the speak and present yourself. There are a lot of things that the young men just begin to suddenly dress like they are man of God. They begin to speak like they are man of God because he didn't ask them to do that. Their culture, their mannerism, and that's why you must be very careful whose culture and mannerism you are taking. Because again, when you start working with mentors, you will find that some of them are not perfect. In fact, nobody is perfect. They also have their shortcomings. That's why they're human. So the onus is now on you to not now judge them for everything. Yours is to just, take the good parts, learn, and also give considerations that, okay, this person is a human and is liable to make mistakes. So when that wisdom is there, you would see that you would benefit a whole lot from the mentorship process.
Yeah, I agree. I agree absolutely. And I think that Hi, okay, so my network has been bouncing off and on. So, I mean, I was mentioning that something Ugochi said resonated so deeply with me. Apart from the fact that she agreed with me on, depending on the stage you are, then you find a mentor that is able to connect with you on that stage to move you to the next level. Yes, so that's how you make progress in a mentoring relationship. Welcome to the show, everyone who's here. Mr. Rotimi is having connection issues, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. We have Titi in backstage, and she's just waiting to come on. I'm sure she will be here soon as well. So one thing you need to understand is, as Safety Chick said, and I just absolutely love that, your mentor is not your savior. So don't be looking at the person as your savior. If you look at the person as your savior, you're not going to make a lot of progress. So there's something that as Safety Chick was talking, it just jumped at me. And I said, I wrote it here, I said, develop the backbone that you need to carry that mentoring relationship to where it needs to go. So for me, right, I have some mentors who I've never met. They're virtual mentors. I'm reading their books, I'm listening to them, I'm sharing with them my experiences. But I have some mentors who I've never met. But I know that these mentors are mentors that knows their relationships. Yeah, I'm finding out all I can virtually, and I'm learning from them. So it's not just a feel good factor to know that, oh, you know what, I'm listening to this person. No, for me, it's not just feel good. What about this person's journey resonates with my journey, and how can I bring it to my own? Hello, Gochi.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, and I think the
The
network is
network
good
has
today.
started. Okay. Yes. When you were talking about mentorship from a distance, yes, I also like that because sometimes people think that your mentor has to be someone living in the same location with you, someone that you see every day. There is something called proximate mentorship, and it's also beneficial. Maybe I've not met him, maybe I'll meet him in future, but I've learned a lot from his writings on Facebook, which he was deliberately doing to reach young people like myself. He was deliberate about because he knew that there's a lot from him that young people can benefit from. And so when he writes all those his posts, it is people like us he has in
Right.
mind, writing with examples to guide us as we make decisions on our entrepreneurial journey and on growth. So I agree with you that not all mentors
Yes.
might be physical, and but it doesn't now
Mm-hmm.
discount the work that they are doing. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Ugochi, in your own experience, how do people get a mentor? So I'm hoping that we can get into that. Yeah. So how do people actually go about the process of getting a mentor? Is it that you meet people and you're like, oh, I want you to mentor me. Can you be my mentor? How do people actually go ahead? And I'm sure you've gotten a lot of those, right? Come and be my mentor. And I'm like, but you don't. me? How can you be asking me from being a mentor just because we share a bottle of water across a table? So so how? What's that? What is there something they should do? If I want you to be my mentor, for example, so can you just guide us? And if, when you're done, then I can jump in as well, and we just talk about that.
Okay, so this question is so important because this is the reason a lot of young people have lost mentors because of the approach. In fact, maybe not just young people, everybody that needs a mentor.
Yeah.
If they do not go about it the right way, they would shoot themselves in the foot and trying to go back to that same person. It takes God, it takes God and maybe more tact for you to get that person again. So one of the things I was able to do to get a very solid mentor was first of all, I discovered that this is somebody that I want to be in my life, right? This person ticks all the boxes in certain areas. I now started by following them both physically and online. So online, I was checking what YouTube videos has been released, what books have been released. I was listening to them, trying to, listen to this person even without being present, just to see how their mind works in several areas. Then when I would hear that they were speaking at a physical event, I would carry my bag and go. I would go there. And that was just because I was absorbing as much knowledge as possible. And then, of course, once in a while, if the opportunity presented itself, I would say hello to this person at those events. Yeah. So by the time I was almost everywhere, I remember one day she sent me a message to do something. She said, I just keep seeing you everywhere I am. I just keep seeing So, it's what that does is actually, because by the time you now begin to have conversations with them and then you're able to point out the fact that you've read a book, they said something in so and so video, you put it into practice, and this is the result it gave you. What you are doing is you are separating yourself from the crowd, because there are many people asking them for that, but these many people, some of them are just asking for clout or for the wrong reasons. So, but when you can prove that you are asking for the right reason, because they can now see that you by yourself, you've even done the homework of learning, even applying what they said somewhere else that wasn't even to you directly, and you are producing results. So it shows them that you are ready to put in the work. It shows them that you are trustworthy. Now, they might begin to give you little allowances just to see how you would perform. It's in your best interest to perform very well. Whatever little thing is thrown in your direction, do it optimally, because that would now help them to know how close they can bring you. Because the truth is, some really high-level mentors are also trying to protect their privacy. They don't want a mentee that would come because you now feel that you are now close. You now go and use them to shine on social media. Oh, that's how my mentor said. No, you have to be discreet. Apply wisdom in your relationship with them. So those are the things that sort of set you apart. And then there's something else that I do when for people that I admire and I look up to. I try to help them. When you are seen as a mentee that brings value, you will be treated differently from others. So you need to ask yourself, in what capacity can you actively help this person? Can you help this person get onto certain platforms that you know that at their level they require it? Can you help them to do certain work? Can you volunteer in their courses? Can you just be helpful in one way or the other? Let them see that you are not just about what you are going to get here. You're also about giving them. Because the truth is, sometimes many of these high-level mentors, people don't really give them stuff. We think that because they have everything, they don't need anything, but they do need anything. For some people, it may be that maybe they need someone to help them with their research. For some people, it may just be that, they need links to certain media platforms because at their level, they now want to gain significance in a really big way. So they want to be seen speaking on certain huge platforms, and that's where understanding who you are with is very important, because once you have done that research, it helps you to now begin to get opportunities for them. And it makes you differentiate yourself from all the others, because they now know that you are not just a parasite, you're also here to make it a mutually beneficial relationship. So it makes them look at you differently.
Absolutely, absolutely, Safety Chick. I totally agree with you. Mentoring, I always say to people that opportunities come disguised as work. So you need to, if you want to jump on an opportunity, it might come disguised as work. And if you're somebody who is not ready to put in the work, then you would lose that opportunity. One way that I have gained mentors as well in my journey is, first of all, like Safety Chick said, I recognize that this person, for this particular area of my life at this time, either my professional life or my personal life, I need this person's expertise. I need this person's wisdom. I need this person's knowledge. Men are gifts to men. Men are God's gifts to men. So when you realize that, you know what, this person is a gift to me in this area, then you will treasure that gift and you will not treat it just anyhow, so to speak. So yeah, you need to know what exactly this person is going to do for me. So if I want Safety Chick, for example, to be my mentor, I recognize the fact that she's great at mentoring. She's great at reaching the younger generation, even the older generation. She's great at communicating her message. So it might not be safety I'm going to her. I'm coming to Safety Chick and say, Safety Chick, I love the way you are able to articulate your message and put it out there and stay focused. Can you guide me on the things that you do and how you do it and how I can apply this in my life? I recognize that particular thing about her. It's a skill set that she has that I know I can benefit from. So it might not necessarily have to do with our core area, but I know that this skill,
Yes.
this thing that she wants, is something that I can apply to myself. So you, as the mentee or somebody who is seeking a mentoring relationship, you must start with what can this person do for me, and then do a bit of research into who that person is. For example, I've had somebody come to me and say that they wanted me to be up via Instagram, and I said, "Oh, what's my name? What do I do?" They couldn't tell me. They couldn't give me those answers, and it
Oh
was it
my
was
God.
quite disheartening because I'm like, how does that even happen? And we have Titi in the house.
You're welcome, Mr. Dempsey.
Hello.
Hand
Honestly,
over to you. You can't even understand.
no, you've been doing a fantastic job. I've been listening, and I'm like, wow. Honestly, I like what you said. In terms of mentor, someone is looking for a mentor. You don't even know the
Mhm,
person's name. I like what
mhm.
Safety Chick said about if you want a mentor. Do you understand? You don't just start and jump. You do a number of steps. Start, follow the
Yes,
person. Show up at the person's event. Relationship should always
relation.
a give and take. Don't want to
Mhm,
take. We have that very um bad mentality. Take. You have to look at
mhm,
how what can I give? How can I help?
mhm.
And really, in helping, I think it just also shows that the mentor, that this is someone that the person would want to work with as well, because it
Yes,
has to be two ways. Once the person is investing
absolutely.
time, once the person is going to invest time, the person needs to see that, okay, this time that I'm investing is not
Mhm,
I'm not just whiling it away. This person is
mhm.
what investing the time in, beyond
Yeah.
money or anything like that. So I've been loving the conversation. Hello,
Yay.
Rotimi. I
Hi,
shouldn't be talking
Rotimi.
to you, but this is your mask, Koni.
It's still me. I'm still the same one. I'm still Rotimi from Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa to the entire world. This is the Good Morning Education Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Titi, I missed your hello. Can you say hello one more time?
Am I talking to you now?
Yes, you are talking to me.
Are you sure? Hello, everyone. It's good to,
Yes, 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 yes.
good
Good
to have
morning.
you on the Good Morning Show.
Yes, yes, yes. It's been a great time, and I was just telling KK as before I got thrown out by some unforeseen network. So I say good morning, internet. So we pay homage to who
I know,
homage is
right?
due. But you see, there's something about the topic of today. When we talk about mentoring and progress, we need to understand the place of time. Mentoring is not just a
Absolutely.
subset of activity, a subset of counsel and advisory roles. It's not just a subset of, what, this is the way, show the person, do it for them. There's the place of time. And a lot of times people need to realize that time also is compartmentalized. You know, there's the time for the mentor, there's the time for the mentee. Just like anyone going into the theater, you hear them saying we need to prep the patient. So there's a place where at the point of appointment for a surgery, you don't see the surgeon all of a sudden doing everything. There's a prep period. And I think that can also be something that will align to what Safety Chick and KK had said, that even if you don't know the mentor before meeting the mentor, there must be an onboarding or there must be an integration place where the first thing will be not just to solve your problem, but to know yourself. That's why in consulting, there's the word called diagnosis. the first interface and interaction with the consultant, the first interface and interaction with the coach is some level of diagnosis. So there's pre-assessment, and that's where you're telling the truth. That's where you're showing the truth. A lot of times people tell the truth, but they don't show the truth. And
Mhm.
if the person that will help you is the one you are still covering up for, then what will be proposed as a solution might not totally go all the way. And then it won't be right for you to say, oh, so person, I signed up for so person's help. I did not get the help I desired. Unfortunately, you find out that it's at a point where you're almost like, so to speak, at a point of no return, far into the relationship, far into the intervention. Then you start hearing some things, or you start discovering yourself of some things. Some people don't want to disclose, they don't want to be vulnerable because mentorship really will require vulnerability. You are not going to
Yes.
be the head and the author and the
Mm.
superstar,
Mhm.
especially when mentorship is coming. And if progress is what you're looking for, you must learn how to disable yourself, from being unilateral in nature. It might not be easy to always hear people out, but it is worth it at the end of the day. So mentorship and progress, I believe they go together. You should get mentored because of progress, not just because it's a trend or a fad. Um, if you don't have a need for mentorship, which of course people will always have a need, but don't do it because it's just what people are doing. Because sometimes you hear people are having same mentors, different results, and they're wondering maybe the mentor has favoritism challenges, but they don't know that sometimes the back end of integration and execution is not necessarily the same across board. So the one who applies what he or she is gleaning from that mentorship relationship might be different from the one who's just sitting there and hoping that one magic wand will happen just because of association. Titi, do you want to say something to that?
No, Rotimi, I think you're distracted, but all on point. Yeah, I think you've actually said it. Um, I like the way how you started with you start by diagnosing. I think diagnosis is important. You need to know what do you want, and I think it's some of the things that Keke and Safety Chick had said. What do you want from the relationship? It has to be clear. What do you want? Some people just feel everybody's getting a mentor, everybody's getting a mentor, and let me go and get one too.
Can get one.
But what do you want? Because different mentors would help achieve different things in your life. So I think clarity, which is where the having starting with the diagnosis starts with, what do you want to achieve? So let's say, for instance, you're an educator and you find out that one of the things that you want to do is how do you um, upgrade in terms of becoming a, should I call it 21st century teacher, and then you
Okay.
see.
So I have a question. Sorry, the background might be a bit noisy. But I have a question, and I'll throw to Kiki and Ugochi.
Okay.
Um, okay, Ugochi is not here. Oh, Kiki and Titi actually. And this question is this: how far, how long should a mentorship intervention or mentorship interaction last or take? Just like it's almost like saying, is there like a happy new year to it? Some
Mhm. I mean, I was enjoying Titi's train actually. That flow of conversation from Titi. I don't think Rotimi realized that Titi was just taking us
Yeah.
somewhere with that conversation. It was just I was just here writing and listening and you know I think he's like you said,
hello,
he's very
can you hear
distracted
me?
this morning.
Okay, so a lot of people used to ask that question, and I think I'll need you guys to help with that answer. That is it like a happy new year, 31st of December to 1st of January? Do we abuse mentorship using retainership principles? Is it right for mentorship to actually close in phases or close in contract? What are your experiences and what are the norms? I know that there will definitely be different answers, so I'm really looking forward to answers. Starting with KK, moving to Gucci, then back to Titi.
Okay, so what I believe is that people mix up coaching and mentoring. There's coaching and there's mentoring. Coaching typically has a timeline sometimes, depending on the type of relationship you have. If you have a lifetime coach, then that person basically sometimes if it's a formal mentoring relationship, then there's money involved and that might be timed. But just to be buttress the fine mention. Hello? Okay. So for a lot of there might be no timing. It
We
depends
can
on
hear
again
you. We
what
can hear you.
thank you. It depends on what type of mentoring relationship you have gotten into. So if you have gotten into a time mentoring relationship, oh, you know what? I'm paying you for your time for 6 months to walk me through this, then that's fine. But in my own opinion, right, a coach is different from a mentor. Coach coaches you. They tell you what to do, tell you how to do it. A mentor is slightly different. A mentor has conversations with you. There are conversations that you want to do more. Those that lead to answers by you. They might decide to tell you, teach you, but it's a little different from a coaching session. Yes, so in terms of Happy New Year and goodbye, God bless. Sometimes you don't have that in a relationship because you can always go back to talk to this person because it's a relationship. It's something that kind of lasts. But the purpose for which the relationship started may have ended, which is why, like Titi said, defining those, you need to be clear about exactly why you're going into this. So that's my opinion about mentoring relationships. Thanks.
Okay, so Ogochi, do you want to take a try and then we'll come to Titi?
Okay, so I have very limited knowledge on this based on personal experience, but I'll just say that the mentorship is not marriage. It's not till death do you part. It's not till death do you part. It's at some
Yes.
point you might realize that the purpose for which you got this mentor or which you had this mentor might have elapsed. Or there are also times that situations demand that the relationship elapse. So, for example, some weeks ago, I listened to a friend and she said that because she wanted to take on something else to do that was going to help her personal development, her mentor said, if you go ahead and do this, I'm going to withdraw my mentorship support from you. And after she had analyzed her life, she saw that she really needed that thing she wanted to do. So without quarrel, without fight, very peaceably, she just started to withdraw systematically from the relationship. And then she also had to get a replacement for that support that this mentor was going to be withdrawing from her. So what I'm just going to point out is that it's not like maybe there is a Happy New Year thing to read. Just that if you decide, if for some reason you see that a mentorship has overstayed its welcome or it's no longer working, as much as possible, live as peaceably as you can. Don't allow it to degenerate to a fight, because there's something Mrs. Ajayi just mentioned now. It may be that you are not longer in that sort of close relationship with the person anymore, but maybe tomorrow there are some things you might want to ask. You should still be able to reach out, even if not on a regular basis, but at least once in a while. And if you have destroyed that bridge, you may not be able to do that. So even if you have to maybe step back, still find a way to ensure that it is cordial. There's no bad blood anywhere and all that. But I know that it is possible for a mentorship to outgrow its purpose. It's really possible. It's just that even when it outgrows its purpose, that cordiality should still remain. That's what I think.
Okay. Thank you, Gochi. I think Rotimi has Rotimi has dropped off.
Network.
But I will say that for me, it's really about what was the idea of for what was the objective of the mentorship, because what happens is that it's like a child in grown school, then you need to change. So sometimes
Mr. Rotimi, mute your mic.
I feel your mentorship. I don't know that you can hear us.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, you heard.
So I feel I feel that you know how it is. You can outgrow the mentor based on what your initial objective was. And sometimes it can be more than that. It can also be that you outgrow your mentor because the level you are at, you need I don't want to say a different mentor. So let's say you're a business
Yeah.
at different stages of growth. When you are at the beginning, this person, was the best for you, but you've reached a particular stage where you need something else. So your mentor needs to change. So those are the two ways I would say that those can drive what duration of the mentorship is. And it can also come from the side of the mentor as well. So the mentor has less time for you than you require. So it might also mean that you need to change mentor. So a lot of things can drive the duration of the mentorship. I think what's important is what Safety Chick started with by saying, look, realize that a mentorship doesn't have to be a permanent marriage. I think it's also good that both sides of the relationship realize when it's time to either move on or hand over the person to something else. I think once people are open and honest in the mentorship relationship, it realize. And when you have goals, like the example you gave, when you have goals and you realize that I want to go in this direction, so I need a different mentor. So let's say, for instance, I started and I was an educator, but now I have an ambition to be a school owner. So maybe the person I need to mentor me is completely different than from the person that helped me to be the best, educator that I need to be. I now need a new mentor that will help me realize my dream of being a school owner. So that's why I say when it comes to mentorship, you should always be driven by, what are your objectives? What stage are you in your journey? And having what are your needs as for mentorship?
Yeah. Yeah, we really do need to have open, honest conversations that revolve around the purpose of that relationship. Absolutely, Titi. Absolutely. And I mean, I think that's the only way you grow, because I mean, today's topic is about mentoring and growing. And I honestly believe that's the only way you can grow. When you have, smart goals that are specific, they're actionable, they're you've been able to articulate them, they're measurable, and then we can see it being progressive in nature. So yeah, absolutely. And to me, I think people they get sidetracked in mentoring relationships and let the emotions come through sometimes. For example, Ugochi's the example he gave about his friend saying, if you are not you're going to do this, then I'm no longer going to be your mentor. So as a mentor, mentors also have the responsibility to actually look at the mentees and say, what is going to help you grow? And what might help that mentee grow might make them even get bigger than you. And that's not the big deal. The big deal is that you were in that relationship with the person and you actually supported that person in their growth where you needed to be, But sometimes we let ego get in the way and just miss out on so many
Exactly.
other of a mentoring relationship.
Sometimes there are even cases where it seems like the mentor is now as if he or she is competing with the mentee. And the truth is, it's not necessary, because the truth is we need ourselves, right? And that's
Yeah.
why, one of the things I mentioned is, again, we also need to understand that mentors are not perfect beings. They also have their own flaws. Once we're able to understand that they are human, maybe if one day they took away an opportunity from you, maybe just teach you a lesson, and you just understand that, okay, this is just the human thing coming in, and all those kinds of things, you will just be able to apply grace and wisdom in all that. And then if at the end you see that okay, this is not going to help my growth, my progress, and you've analyzed it well, as conflict free as possible. Like, it's so important to not have unnecessary conflict.
All right, thank you so much. There's something I actually posted in the group, and the idea behind that is because that a lot of people do not even know where they are placed. There's nothing wrong to understand that friendship in itself is a categorization of helpful relationship. Helpful relationship can be friendship. It doesn't have to mean because the person has been so influential in the place of knowledge and support that we automatically use the name mentor. You understand? And that's why sometimes we place unrealized or unrealistic expectations. And this is one reality that we must understand. In mentorship, we have what we call the healthy hunger. We have what we call the harmful hunger. We have what we call the heady hunger. And the truth about it is, if you are not hungry for something, there's a big time challenge you will have in the place of the drive for that thing. And there are sometimes someone will be dishing out diamonds and gold to you, and your hunger will reduce it to sawdust. So we need to begin to ask ourselves, is the kind of hunger we have healthy? Healthy hunger is an hunger that actually creates first acceptance, meaning that whatever you hear, whatever you benefit, whatever you get, whatever the instructions are, the first rule of thumb is to accept. It might not be totally good, it might not be totally the best, but the first point of it is to accept. Acceptance is the first proof of healthy hunger because it's until you accept before
Have
you
we
can
lost
see.
Rotimi?
No,
No, I can
before
still
you
hear
can
him.
see, before you can filter. Acceptance is the very first thing. So even if you, for example, have a bad day and you accept that, oh, this is a bad day, you accept that this is a bad day, it's something that helps you to be able to deal with the challenge of that day itself. So acceptance is a proof of healthy hunger. A lot of people just feel that because someone is telling them they are less, because someone is helping them they are less, and immediately they get to the point of crawling to walking, they quickly disentangle themselves so that it doesn't appear to people that they are less. I've heard many times people want to say, you know what, I'm a self starter, I'm a self helped made or self whatever they normally say. And you just laugh at sometimes when people are saying it because they don't want people to feel they are not strong as people. They are not strong as being. Look at the best champions in the world. They have some support structure and system to them. Ronaldo, Messi, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, Oprah Winfrey, a lot of fantastic people like that. They have support structures. That support structure evolves around friendship, evolves around mentors, evolves around coaches, evolves around managers, evolves around a lot of people. And so we must understand that the other aspect is the harmful hunger. And this is what is really prevailing in our space, where the hunger is full of harm. So we are not getting to be inspired, we are getting to conspire. So everybody's looking at how so and so is doing it. And instead of staying inspired, and there would not you can't rule out similarities in things, but a lot of people begin to conspire even in their similarities. Somebody starts something and then you want to do something, but you are doing it with the spirit of conspiracy. That brings negative anger, that brings negative energy, and that raises people as well, because the relationship of mentorship is two-way. It affects and it infects. So as it's affecting people, it's also infecting people. There's a likelihood that because I'm friends with KK, I'm friends with TT, I'm friends with Tugochi, your friendship is affecting me, but it's also infecting me. So probably maybe I didn't used to laugh before, but because I see 66 dentition, I begin to laugh much more. Maybe I begin to brush because I didn't like swallow before, so much in the loop where they are so
This
eager.
network
I
does not
am
want
not
us to
ready.
hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can
Hello.
hear you. Yes, yes.
So yeah, so you find out that this time wait for the process. And so they compete against themselves. They create competing and conflicting pursuits within their entire plan or roadmap. And that's why you find out that people like that, they will give reasons for that, but they will always be telling you why their path has changed. And when you look at the base of it, it's because of the heady hunger. They become so heady that they are no more they are now invincible to themselves, right? They just want to be all in all without going through the process. There are certain things that you can do fine due to hard work, due to connect, due to everything, due to networking. But there are certain things you should not do. The fact that you
Mm,
can do something doesn't mean you should do it. The fact that I can kill, it means I have the ability to kill, but doesn't mean I should kill. Now, some publicity that we have, they are unripe publicity. Why? We imagine, for example, um, you paid certain publicity, and it's not wrong, but there are certain things that people crave for, and they go to buy it, and when they have it, they don't feel fulfilled in the end. Why? Because of heady hunger. You want to arrive before the thing, before the time of that thing. And then it looks like, oh yeah, yes, no big deal. I'm doing everything everybody's done. However, you are not able to eventually come up with something that makes you show that you've grown. If you jump up, you'll come down. But if you grow up, you won't come down. And that's the thing. Mentorship really is a cataclysmic arrangement of growing up. Growing up. Even your brief will begin to change as you grow. So if a mentor has told you, well, this is what you've been asking, this is what you need, this is the trajectory of your projection in your career. But as the mentor sees you evolve, the mentor will also feed you differently. And sometimes that's where someone says, you know what, I don't want Cerelac any longer. I think I want Amala right now. But then it is the mentor that's also the nutritionist need to understand that even though you're now not on milk, there has to be simple to complex approach to your emergence. A lot of people fail to realize that they are
mhm.
either in an aspiring, emerging, or an established phase. The fact that you are knowledgeable, or the fact that you are popular than your mentor, the fact that you gained popularity and acceptance does not change the phase you are at. The phase we are at certain periods of our lives and our pursuits does not have anything to do with popularity. Do you understand? So you can be a popular aspiring individual, right? You can be popular emerging individual, and you can be an established individual and you are not popular. You can be an established individual and you are not famous. So we need to understand that fame is not totally expertise in nature. Fame is not totally greatness in nature. Fame is fame. It is what it is. While we recognize that
That is
we yeah.
I like what Mr. Rotimi is saying, because sometimes people always want only their mentor to be known names, and sometimes it doesn't work that way. There are some people that are great mentors who are not even known names, but everything they tell you, once you do it, it will work. Like you see tangible results in your life. And I think that maybe because we're in a generation that likes wanting to drop names, and that's like one of the things I speak of when I have to speak at youth events. Stop looking for a mentor because you want to drop. No, you think the person is popular. Oh, that's the person that is reigning at this time. No, you should. There are people that are already in your network that you can repurpose that existing relationship. Because if you look at, maybe this person has been a friend for a very long time, or this person is maybe a parent of a friend, but every time you guys go to visit this particular parent, this parent is always sharing valuable insights, and when you use it, it works. That is mentorship. You don't need it to be a Fela Durotoye for it to work. We need to begin to look at our existing relationship. Like, there are some friendships that you have, and you can see that this your friend, she's really great at investment and all those kinds of stuff. How about proposing instead of only gisting all the time? So if we have that understanding that mentorship can even be found from within the existing network that we currently have, we would see that we shouldn't just should I say, box ourselves in a corner and start looking for people that maybe don't even have time for us, because So
I think
I just really like what Mr. Aritubi said.
Yeah, so I think safety chick, one of the problems is that, one, people don't, like you said, people want the name dropping, and they would rather have the name dropping because they feel that it gives them visibility and opens doors for them that they can step through, even though they're really ready to step through those doors. People don't actually understand this progress part of mentoring relationship. Another thing is, people need to understand that your mentor is not your God. It's not his life or her life. It doesn't need to become your Bible. So you need to understand that they are a mentor, not your life something. No, they're not your conscience in a way. So you need to understand that. And you need to understand that if you want progress, then you need to go towards the place where you're going to get progress. A river at the top of the mountain is the river that cuts the most. That's where the height of its power is, that is cutting you down. By the time it begins to lower down, all it's doing is depositing its knowledge. So you need to look for where are you in that your flow journey? Are you at the peak of your interest? Where you need somebody who is going to motivate you, who is going to push you? Or are you somewhere maybe towards the end of a particular area of your life, and you're finding ways to consolidate your impact? And then you need to look for somebody who can guide you in that regard. You must know as an individual what exactly is it that you do. If you don't know where you are going, any course will do. And it's so important. And this thing safety people said is so important. Stop looking for name dropping, both as a mentor or as a mentee. Look for how to actually see that person progress in that thing that they need you for. I believe that if we use that litmus paper, we would progress in our mentoring relationships.
And then a word of caution and a word of advice. Whether you name drop, you don't name drop, well, different people have different strategies. It doesn't make it the best, but you must begin to learn the power of friendship and nesting the power
Yeah.
of friendship. See, the best you can get from mentorship is not what is taught. That's the truth about it. The best you can get from mentorship is not what is taught, but it is the affiliation of modeling, the affiliation of relationship, and what you catch. Most of
Mhm.
the things that you really get as in deep end in mentoring is what you catch, what you glean, not what you were taught. Because
Mhm.
what someone teaches you is scripted, and that's why I felt a bit sad when there was about 3 years ago an upsurge of courses, and everybody just felt, oh, I've learned my course, I've learned my online course, and these courses, when I check some of them, as good as that the spirit of writing and developing courses are, the courses are on an exploitative mode, just to say that I'm able to monetize my knowledge, not necessarily that I'm able to make significance my knowledge. I'm able to make important my knowledge. I'm able to make possible my knowledge. But most of it is I'm able to monetize my knowledge. And when you see something about monetizing your knowledge, you must understand that behind that, you must provide value, you must empower with value, you must transfer knowledge, and you must make happen people. And if you don't do that, you'll be lost in the end of the day. So I want to be able to encourage people out there to understand that if you don't leverage on the power of relationship, you won't get the best. You understand? So I think we've really done a lot today, and I have to wrap up at this point of time. So let's have the last words from Titi, KK, and Rachel.
Okay,
Okay.
my cousin. Let me start by saying, start with the objective that you want to achieve. It's important that, one, you start, what do I want to be mentored on? Look for the person that you have a relationship with that can mentor you on that, and be ready to, make it a give and take relationship, not just a take relationship. Okay, over to you, KK.
Okay, so yes, absolutely. Conversations are important in a mentoring relationship. So make sure that you choose a mentor that will actually work to make you grow. Because if you're not progressing in any relationship, then I think it doesn't achieve the purpose for which you have started that relationship. So look into your network. Find, like Safety Chick said, how do you repurpose some relationships, and then actually find the values in the relationships via the route of relationships. And there's some mentors who don't have time. So they might not have you calling them, or, so find out from your mentor what actually works for them in terms of connection. And then, make that relationship work, make it work, and work for it if you need to. Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you just mentioned. Now, I think I will just even start from that one. Know what works for your mentor. I have a mentor that does not take phone calls. Just send a long WhatsApp message. She will read it and respond line by line, self, if possible. So, so know what works for your mentor, because you don't want to now seem like a pest to them. But more importantly, I would just add that make sure that your relationship is mutually beneficial. Look for something to do for your mentor. They may not need money from you. They may not need things money can buy, but there are other ways that your network can benefit your mentor. So look for opportunities to help your mentor, to push your mentor's work forward, to support their own growth, because they are also human beings. So look for that thing that they need and see how you can help make it happen for them.
Thank you. So we've had a great time, and it's always a great time hearing and listening to you guys, sharing from different perspectives and the wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. We'll be doing this tomorrow as well, and we'll be having a great time as well. So therefore, at this time, I think it's safe for us to say it's always a great morning on the Good Morning
On
Education
the
Show. Have a
show.
great day, guys. Take care. Bye.
All right, bye.